Hey everyone, it's Brooks from Minos Tech, and today I wanted to talk to the people out there um, that wanted to get into the IT recycling space. And I've been talking to Chris Dillon a lot. He wanted me to kind of put together like a top 5 things that if you're new to getting into the space, what to look out for, the tools that we use. So with that said, I want to go over who we are, why would someone even want to get into selling e-waste, barriers to entry, buying as a service, the markets that have the best margins, electronic space on eBay and what that looks like, and then how to diversify your sales model so you can have a very healthy online business. Even though when sales are slow, you can still keep up that revenue. So with that said, who we are. So Minos Tech is a IT server liquidation shop. We primarily focus on software companies who deploy on hardware. So anytime that their customers need to return product, it's not going back to the software companies because they don't have space. It's going back to companies like us. And basically, I call something buying as a service. So most companies out there charge 10, 15, 20 bucks per hard drive to dispose of. We use that as a negotiation point on buying your goods at a lower price. So that's who we are. We're in South Carolina. Most of our business is done on the East Coast from how we get our gear. So next thing is, why would someone want to get into the e-waste recycling space? So right now, there's a huge shift going from people storing data on local servers to going to cloud. So this has been a huge shift, and it's going to continue happening over the next 5-6 years. And what that means is, now your data is stored in cloud, like Google Drive or whatever it might be, but the servers that was locally stored at for the companies out there, now they have all these servers that they don't need anymore. So there's going to be this huge pyramid shift of all this gear from people going from storing data on premise versus pushing to cloud. So it's a great time to get into this space right now. Barriers of entry. There's really not many at all, and they don't cost a lot. So obviously you need a way to test the quality of the hard drives before you put it online. So there's a tool out there called Crystal Disk. It's free. All you have to do is have a docking station. You pop it in the docking station, you turn it on, you run the software, and it tells you if the disk is good or bad. The only software that costs money is called to wipe the data, because you have to meet certain compliance. If you're getting gear from hospitals or whatever it might be, you have to show 7-pass wipes on that so they can meet HIPAA guidelines. So there's a software out there called Active Kill Disk. Active Kill Disk for one particular license, which sits on one machine, costs you $54.95. So this is you can see these tools are very inexpensive to do this. The next piece is what I call buying as a service. So it's so important for you to negotiate COGS and to lower your cost of goods. So you got to show the value to your person that's giving you the equipment, that there is tons of time associated with removing the data, testing the material. You have employee count that takes to do this. You have servers that are doing this, which that's costing you electricity. So in that case, most companies out there don't really, I would say, give you much pushback, but you can use those as leverage tips on to lower your cost of goods. So keeping that buying as a service is very important. So I've drew like a little graph here. So the further you are to the right is more profitable, and the higher you are, the harder it is for a barrier of entry. So if you can see here, at the very far left-hand corner, sourcing on eBay, basically that's just a person that will buy this product at X price, and you find it on eBay and you flip it. Obviously that's really easy to do. You just go online, so there's no really barrier entry at all. It's just getting on eBay and doing it. But the most profitable ones out there are when you're reaching out to enterprise software companies and when they are getting rid of their gear. So this has the highest profit margin. I'd probably say around 80%, because mainly these companies are just writing it off the books. So you can go into, a large company, they might give you 500 servers. Well, you might make $20,000, $30,000 just on that one lot. The next most profitable one is companies that deploy on hardware. So imagine you have your TV box, Time Warner, Spectrum, AT&T, or whatever, and you get a refresh upgrade. So when you send that gear back, all those computer parts have hard drives, memory, CPU inside of them. What's happening to that old gear? They're probably not going to redeploy that 5-year-old technology. It's going somewhere. So I want you to be thinking about that. That's like partnering with companies like that, and I would probably sell on average the gross margins around 70%. So really solid. The next one I would say is local service providers. So what this means is in your city, you probably have many IT companies out there that reach out to smaller firms, lawyers, dentist office or whatnot that can't afford to have a full-time, they're too small to have a full-time IT staff. So then you have these companies out there that might support 30, 40, 100 small companies out there. These are companies a great way to get their gear because it's I would say it's less barrier to entry and it's going to be less revenue because they're much smaller than these huge tech companies. However, most of these companies, if you reach them in a very early state and you build out a really solid process with them, they're going to stick with you forever. So I found these kind of types of partnerships here to be very sticky. These up here can be very competitive. You can be going into bidding wars, you could be going into contract basis. These big companies can go public and they can just move everything internally. So you really have to be careful and diversify everything that you do here. So a very good one here, you can start all locally. Just start, cold calling some IT shops saying, hey, what do you do with your old gear? Can I help you in any way? And then we'll go into local recycling shops. So this is the easiest way. There's hardly any barrier to entry. You just go to a recycle shop, and most of these recycle shops are dealing with like Coke cans and huge metal and stuff like that. They probably don't have the best processes around hard drives. They're probably just scrapping them out to like one local guy. So try to figure out what's going on with that one. And the last one, since I already talked about sourcing on eBay, is local computer shops. So local computer shops, I found to be kind of in the middle. It's all about the owner. Some people say, I'm just going to deal with it myself. I'm going to sell it on eBay or whatnot. But you might find a few in there that you say, I don't have the time to deal with all these old computer parts. I'm all about selling new stuff. So that can be something that definitely might be worth your time. So that's the landscape. I suggest you try every one of these. These are going to be really hard up here to get into, but once you do, you can be set for a long period of time. The local service provider is definitely one I would probably lead with. You can get on the call today with someone and say, hey, do you have any processes around retiring your customer servers? So that's the landscape. Then I want to talk about just the electronic space on eBay. So when we started the company, we were 100% online, Amazon, eBay. And we quickly realized that around 70% of the people buying from us were either data centers or they were resellers selling to other resellers, selling to other end users. So with that said, you always want to monitor who is buying from you because you never know. You might be able to figure out, oh, that data center purchased from me. Let me call them and thank them. And then at the same time you're thanking them for their purchase, they might have gear that they want to retire as well. So that opens up the door to many opportunities. But with that said, you have to have a good tool which helps you identify who's buying from you. And we use a tool called datamine.com with 2 eyes, and that tool is very helpful in identifying that. It's only going to help you diversify your business. So with that said, the diversification model for success, in my opinion, is online sales is really driven for about 30%. You basically want to stay online so you keep finding more data centers, more resellers to help you move them kind of directly and just build a better relationship. The direct side here is around 50%. That is just directly through PayPal. So you got a reseller that wants this type of product, you have it, you PayPal them, and you ship for them. So that's the best there. And then the local piece, that would be your local IT services. So those guys that you call that are local, managing other smaller firms. These guys can make you very healthy as well because not only are they giving you gear that they're retiring, they're also upgrading their customers. So they might pay premium. They're going to pay far premium pricing because they're billing their customer $500 for a computer, and so they don't have that price point. When you're selling to resellers, typical margins are around 10%, but when you're selling into IT shops that are billing their customers at ridiculous margins, it's just, you can definitely a better place to be. So with that said, that's just an overview of our business. I would definitely recommend right now is a good time to get into the IT space. If you have any questions, you can email me at sales@minostech.com. That's minostech.com. And have a good day. See ya.